Hello everyone, and welcome to the LoGhouls podcast, where we bring your hauntings to life. I'm your host, Alana, and today I'm with Frankie. And on this episode, Frankie will discuss her paranormal experiences, her thoughts and beliefs surrounding the supernatural, and why she decided to share her story today, and much more. So don't go away, for this is one spooky episode you won't want to miss. Before we dive into today's paranormal experience, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I'm Frankie. I'm a visual communications design major. I don't do much for fun, really. I just do art, and then I go to the haunted house, and that's my life, basically.
Nice. I mean, sweet and simple. I like it.
Yeah, it is.
There you go. And so for those tuning in at home, could you tell us where these experiences have occurred?
So all of my experiences have happened at Wells Township Haunted House. It's crazy in there. It's crazy haunted. The building was, built pre-Civil War. So it's old. It's one of those old haunted buildings.
Gotcha.
As they all are.
Honestly.
But during the Civil War, they would bring the bodies up from the south and store them in the building to be claimed at a later date. And it's estimated almost 1,000 bodies were in there over the span of when it was used.
Really?
Yeah, it's nuts. There's also another death on the property. Yeah, there's a drunk guy tried to break in. This was way later.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact date, but he tried to break in, he failed, and then he laid down on the railroad tracks behind the building and right over top of him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas as to why they chose this building for the Civil War bodies, or you don't know? People
actually, yeah. At the time, it's separated from the river by a highway and a little bit of land, and at the time the highway wasn't there.
Gotcha.
So it was a straight shot from the river to the building.
Okay.
And
so it's just more convenient.
Yeah, and it's
okay.
a big building.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I mean I've been there for the haunted house stuff
Yeah.
like that, but I don't think I ever knew any information other than just fun haunted house experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
But that's pretty interesting.
I
did
know.
not know that.
It's crazy.
I don't think I would want to work there, if I'm gonna be honest.
I love it.
You like it? That's cool though.
Yeah.
If you like it, then there you go,
Yeah.
right?
You get used to all the ghosts eventually.
Really?
You do. You really do.
I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be able to. That's cool though.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any of your own theories as to why the place is haunted?
Well, obviously the bodies,
right?
The death on the property, but they used to have ghost investigations. They still do, but it's more for professional. But you used to just, if you just wanted to go investigate as a normal person, you could just go in, book a night.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that either. What the heck?
No, not a lot of people know that. It's mostly just for real investigation teams now. You have to verify.
Oh, okay.
But when they used to do the I know. I wish I could just go do it on my own.
Yeah.
But before it was just when it was a free for all, people would go in and they would take Ouija boards in.
Oh no.
And you know how that goes.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and you have all the Civil War soldiers, you have the death on the property, and then you've got people bringing Ouija boards in once a week.
Yeah.
Of course it's gonna get haunted.
Yeah, I guess that would explain it for sure.
It would.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, I have never touched a Ouija board, and I will never touch a Ouija board.
I refuse after being in there. I'm hands off, no Ouija board for me.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't get how, a kid's toy company made that. You know what I mean? It's kind of fishy.
It's freaky.
But, hey, to each their own, I guess.
Exactly. I mean, if you want to be like 10 and already haunted, feel free. But it's not for me.
Right, yeah. Alright, so, to help those, listening at home, understand, like, what you've gone through, could you, explain your experiences there?
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot. Do you want me to, go easiest to digest to, craziest, or?
Yeah, I mean, you can start there. You can start at the craziest one and go down. I don't care, whichever way you want to do it.
Okay. So...
maybe start with the easy one.
I'll start with the easy one.
Yeah.
So... this one takes a little bit of setup, because it's playing peekaboo with a shadow figure, but, there's the makeup room, and then there's the big door out of the makeup room, then little hallway, and then a pantry that's, long and narrow, and there's a door at both ends of the pantry, and both doors were open, and at the opposite end of the pantry, there's, a blue light, and I was sitting in the makeup room, and I turned around, and I looked through the door of the pantry, and I just saw a dark figure standing, peeking around the doorway like this, and I would move, and then it would move, and we just went back and forth going like this at each other for 10 minutes, until I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. This is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Freaky.
Yeah, so could you make out any features of it, or just
nothing?
It was figure?
It kind of looked misty, it faded around the edges, if that makes sense, but it was head, shoulders, arms, and then you could see the side of the leg.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's bizarre.
It is.
Was it tall? Was it short? Was it?
It was tall. I know exactly who it was, because got we named all the ghosts.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Gotta give them personality.
Yeah. Gotta have some fun sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
Man.
He's the mean one. Well, he's not the meanest, but he's mean.
Really?
He hates women. He will pick on women. So.
Do you have any ideas as to why?
No clue.
You don't know?
He's one of the Civil War soldiers, because when you see him, you can, his boots are Civil War boots.
Okay.
Army boots. But, no, we don't know why he hates women. We don't know why he picks on women, but he's, violent.
That's crazy. So you say you can see, the clothes and stuff, but you just can't see a face?
Yeah, no face. Nothing.
Interesting.
I know.
I wonder why. He just doesn't want people to know who he is, maybe?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't have the energy to conjure up his face.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never thought about it that way. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
No, that's... I know. Even, something small like that, I still feel like I would be, terrified.
At that point, I was used to it, because I've been working there for a very long time, and, all of these have happened over, a span of, I don't know, 6 years. So you get, 3 years in, and you're kind of jaded. You're like, oh, there he is. He's back again.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm glad you get used to it, though.
Yeah. Kind of have to.
Yeah, I guess. So.
You go in there, and you're like, oh, who am I going to see this time? All
right. You said you got more?
I've got more.
You got more?
So there's a room. Well, there's multiple rooms that are hotspots, but these two rooms. It's one of the later rooms in the house, and it's Sarah's room. This little girl's ghost. We named her Sarah because that's the name she gave us, but she's a crawler. She likes to crawl on the floor, on the ceiling.
On the ceiling?
Mm-hmm. You see her most on the ceiling, actually. If you see her on the floor, it's kind of rare.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a tour guide there. And as a tour guide, if somebody tells you, hey, don't look up, you know that Sarah's on the ceiling that night. She's feeling a little frisky.
Oh, I don't like that.
It is awful. But this was, before I was tour guiding. I was in the hotspot room, and it was Stranger Things themed, Am I allowed to say that?
It's fine.
Who cares?
I'll pop a picture up.
Yeah, Stranger Things thing. And like to simulate the upside down,
Okay, it's cool.
it had this fog machine, and the fog machine had these bubbles, and the bubbles would pop when they hit the floor, or like they would get stuck. And I was sweeping all the bubbles away, and all of a sudden the bubbles started turning into like a hand, and then it started crawling at me, and then it was a torso, and then a head started forming.
No.
I stomped
Really?
on its head. I stomped on its head.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I curb stomped a ghost. That's my flex.
So, when this happens, so I know they have, like, lights out tours and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But was this during, like, lights on?
Actual
or-
season. Yeah.
Okay.
Like when all the rooms were running.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you were the only one in that room, though, just sweeping it up, or?
I mean,
Was
I wasn't the only one, but the other person was like following the tour into the next room.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Oh.
Nobody else saw it, but that was freaky.
Do they have, I don't know if I can ask this, but do you guys have, like, security cameras that would, like, capture any of this stuff, or no?
We do? I just don't know if they capture
If they-
anything.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
No clue.
That's kind of bizarre because, like, I mean, I watch, like, YouTubers who
Mhm.
like, do, like, hauntings and, like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they, like, okay, they catch stuff, and they're like, oh, did you hear that? And, like, I feel like the camera doesn't pick it up, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't know, I just think it's so crazy how, like, you might see it, but if there's a camera rolling, like, the camera might not even see anything. I think that's kind of, like, bizarre, like.
I think we've caught pictures before.
Oh, really?
I don't have any of them
Oh, okay.
personally.
That's okay.
I'd have to go digging for them through like the archives, but I don't have them. I do have a video though. It was me and my friends, and we were there one night, and there's a room, we call it the portal room because we've had multiple mediums and psychics in there, and they were all like, yeah, this is a portal to the afterlife, or the whatever it is. It is, I can tell you that. The vibes in there are awful.
Do you know how, like, that portal even, like, came to be in that room?
I'm
Like,
assuming Ouija board?
Ouija board?
Ouija
Okay.
board, not sure. Nobody really knows. It's all a, like, a wild
Mystery.
guess. Yeah. But, we were sitting in there one night, and we had one of those laser grid pointer things.
Yeah.
It was sitting on a table, and there was an EMF meter. You know what those are, like the pingy thingies?
Yeah, could you explain a little bit for
And it's
people
got
who
like the
might not know?
colors. It's like a black box. It picks up electromagnetic fields, and it's got like colors on it, and it'll light up based on like how strong it is.
Yeah.
And we had the laser grid sitting on the table facing the door to the room before it. And it started turning off, and when it would turn off, the electromagnetic field reader would turn on. Like, it would ping, and it would light up. And we were like, okay, this is fishy, and it started going back and forth, and that went on for a couple minutes, and then we were like, okay, let's ask it to do something specific. And we would ask it, like, hey, can you turn them both off at the same time? It would turn off at the same time, and then we started going back and forth, and we'd be like, hey, turn the laser grid on, and turn the EMF reader off. And it just kept going back and forth, doing exactly what we said for like 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. And it wouldn't happen like instantly, but it would happen fast enough that you knew it was.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I've seen, like I said, like I watched, different YouTubers that do this stuff, and that happens to them too. Like they'll ask them, turn this off, turn this on, and like sometimes it happens like that. Sometimes it's like, gradual. But I think it's like wild.
It is.
Like,
it is so strange to experience.
yeah, I mean, I've never experienced anything like that because I've never like did ghost tours. I've never done anything like that. But I mean, I kind of want to, but I also
Yes,
don't.
I do.
I also don't want to like bring something home with me.
You mean like I did?
Yeah. But no, it is wild to see that. And like, I mean, I guess YouTube, like, they could be faking some of it, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of believe some of it. Some of the stuff I am like,
Yeah. It's really hard to fake it on a Snapchat video, you know?
That's true.
Like, I can't go back and edit it, but...
That's very true, yeah.
But, hey, it's crazy. It really
is crazy.
is.
No, that is. Any more?
Do you want the crazy one?
Sure, bring it on.
So, I think it was the same night the laser pointer thing happened.
Okay.
And we were in the room with the crawler ghost.
Okay.
And it was me and like 4 other people actually. And on the sides of this room, there are like little cubby holes.
Okay.
It's really hard to explain if you like don't know the layout, but there's cubby holes in this corner. And I was sitting next to a cubby hole. There was a girl sitting next to me and another one of my friends on the other side. And there was another girl standing like where you could see both cubby holes. So she was like on the opposite corner of the room.
Okay.
And she turns to the cubby hole that is like right next to me and this other girl, and she screams, and she is like, "Oh my God, what is that? What is that? What is that? What is that?" And we're like, "What?" She says, "There's a floating head there." And we were like, "What are you talking about? Like, there's nothing there." And then she's like, no, it's there. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I don't know, it was like my consciousness was pushed to the back of my brain and I was running on autopilot, but I didn't write the code, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best way I can describe it. I started crying for no reason, and so did the kid next to me, like, and then I turned to the friend that was on my left and I was like, "Hey, you gotta move or I'm gonna punch you." Like,
oh my goodness.
Yes, I know. Like, my arm was like moving without me telling it to, and I was crying, and I was like, I felt like I was going to scream, and I just, I wanted to hurt everybody there.
Huh.
And like the girl who saw the thing was like yelling about it that entire time, and then she said, like, that feeling went away, and then she was like, "Oh, it's gone now. What was that?" And like,
oh, that's kind of freaky.
Oh, I get freaked out thinking about it.
Yeah, because like, I mean, what if it was like trying to like possess you in a way?
Well, I mean, technically it kind of did, but
no, that's
I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's something you have to feel, you know?
Yeah.
It's almost like when you're really tired and your brain's all foggy, but you're just going through the motions anyways, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a nice description for that.
I hope. It's the closest I can come.
Yeah, it's a good, you know, description for those who
low-key
weren't
demonic
there,
possession,
right?
you know?
Yeah.
The best I can describe it.
So she literally... Was she the only one that saw the head, or did anybody else see that, or no?
She was the only one because everybody was crowded on the opposite side of the room. Everybody was getting really bad vibes from that corner, and they were like, "We don't want to go over there." Like, my rule
the corner that she was standing in?
Yeah. Like, where she could see. But, like, my thing is, you don't look at your corners, because every time you look at a corner, you'll see something. Like,
yeah, I mean, do you, like, legitimately see something, or is it just your eyes playing tricks on you? What do you think?
I think it's half and half. Half and half. But either way, when you're in some place like that where it's already extremely haunted, do you really want to, like...
Yeah.
Do you really want to take that guess? Like, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just freaky.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like if I did work there, I would either be terrified every time, or I would literally just go insane. Like, I feel like I'd be like, oh, that's just my eyes playing tricks on me, or that's just in my head.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I feel like I would just go crazy.
There's times when I'm taking tours. I'm taking a tour through, and I'm, like, in the middle of talking, and, like, I'll see something move around a corner, and I'm like, oh! Stop! No, I gotta compose myself. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. No, I'd probably do the same thing. Stop.
You kind of lose your mind after a few hours.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's crazy. And so she only saw just a head.
Mm-hmm. It looked like, the demon from Sinister, Bagul.
That, like, the red and... No, wait.
No, that's
the wrong movie.
That's Insidious.
Yes.
No, it's the one with the gray mouth and the gray eyes,
Yes,
but it
alright,
had horns, which was like a classic demon of it. But
Really?
yeah, it is.
That's a little freaky.
It's a little freaky, just a little bit.
I would not want that near me.
No, it's not fun at all.
Oh. Mm-mm. So wait, is that like your wildest experience, or is there even more? Bigger one?
That's my wildest one, like, emotionally, I guess, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, there's another one where, like, the Civil War ghost, I was standing in the room, and I was, like, same room, actually. The same exact room that both of the other ones happened in. But I was standing in the corner, and I was facing the exit door. And I was just sitting there playing on my phone, and I looked up because I heard, like, because there's the big plastic flaps that cover the doors so light doesn't seep into the other rooms. And I heard those moving, and I looked up, and there was just a big black shadow that walked across the room. It set off, like, the lights to the room, the lights and the sound, and it went out the flaps, and those moved too. And then, like, a few seconds later, the work lights came on, like, the normal lights where that we have to, like, work under, like, do building stuff. And I was like, okay, that's weird, because I didn't hear the next set of flaps moving, so I went into the next room, and I looked, and the light switch was flipped on, the flaps weren't moving, and I looked down the hallway, like, to the next room after, you know, the next room,
Right.
and there was nobody.
Huh.
And the flaps to the next room weren't moving either. So, like,
Wow.
yeah, it disappeared from the end of our room to the end of the room after it.
Wow. That's like fast.
Uh-huh.
I mean, do you think like ghosts can like move like, how do I want to say this? Like do you think they can move like just like pop into places?
Mhm.
Or do you think they have to literally like travel like a
Um,
path per se?
I think that they, like, travel a path, but they pop in and out of our
Okay.
plane. So, like, they're doing the exact same thing on their plane, but they just, like, pop in and out of ours.
Not, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
like
a good theory.
That's
there.
a good one. I did do good with that.
Is there any more juicy ones?
I mean, I brought a ghost home with me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, actually, I think I brought multiples because I
Really?
moved out of my parents' house over the
Oh.
summer. And
Cool.
I left one there.
Oh.
And I brought one
Not
to my
cool.
new apartment. Yeah. I think the one I left is, like, angry that I'm gone.
Really?
Because it is so active. Ooh. My little brother had a friend over, and he stayed in what used to be my room.
Okay.
And he woke up in the middle of the night because he was cold, I think. And he got up, and he had no blankets, and he was like, okay, where are the blankets? The blankets were outside of the room, by the stairs, like, kind of folded up.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I'm like crying. I don't like that. No, are you serious?
Yeah, dead serious.
That happened to his friend?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Well, if I was him, I wouldn't be standing there anymore.
I don't think he has since, honestly. Oh, what else has happened? My sister woke up in the middle of the night and had what looked like my mom standing over her, but it just looked like a shadow of my mom. And then she was like, "What?" Because the thing was trying to hand my sister something, and she was like, why are you giving me this? And then it disappeared, like, faded away in front of her. We're not sure if that was, like, a sleep paralysis thing or what, but it sounds pretty on par with my little ghosty ghosts. And then actually, like, a week ago, my mom had something happen too. Like, she woke up in the middle of the night and she was cold again. Like, she had the blankets on her, but she was cold, so, like, the same thing didn't happen. But she rolled over and she felt a finger like go up her back like 6 inches. It wasn't just like it was like a solid grope, if you will. I don't know. It is. Oh, that freaks me out. And then like at my apartment, I guess mine's a little bit happier because I actually pay attention to it.
That's pretty funny.
He just likes to stand in doorways and like stare menacingly.
Really?
And like he actually was standing in my closet like 2 nights ago. Like I was working on homework. It was like 3 a.m. and I looked up and there was just a dark figure in my closet and I was like, okay, here we go again. Not again.
I mean, how do you think like they get like attached to you? Like, I mean, because like, I mean, I'm sure you don't do anything that's like, you know, come over here. Like, you know what I mean? So like, do you have any theories as to why they might just follow you? Like,
I'm not sure. I've always been like really open to that plane. I really don't know what they call it, but I could see, hear, feel ghosts when I was little, and
Really?
I guess it just carried over, and they realized that, and they were like, "Oop, you're mine now."
Huh.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a common like theme.
Yeah.
Like you see a lot of stuff as like a kid, which I hear, you know, kids are more open to stuff, and that's why they can do that. But like, I mean, I've never seen anything when I was a kid. And I still haven't really seen. I mean, I have a video that like it's just like this little white mist that just goes by.
Ooh.
It was in my house, but like that was pretty much like the only thing that's like ever really happened. We hear like noises and like stuff like that, but we just think it's like it creaks. Like,
yeah.
I mean, our house isn't like that old, I don't think, but still, it was weird because like my curtains weren't open, so it wasn't like headlights from like a car or anything like that. And I mean, I'm on the 2nd floor anyway, but yeah, and it went in front of like, because I was filming my cat, and it went in front of my cat too, though. So like,
Ooh.
and you could see kind of through it a little bit, and it was like super fast.
Ooh.
And it was just like this little white like mist thingy, like little blob basically.
Was it like a perfect circle? Was it like an orb?
No, it wasn't a perfect circle.
Oh, that's really weird.
Yeah. No, it is weird, and I don't know. I still don't know what it is, right? But I mean, that's literally the only thing that I've ever captured. And I mean, I have not seen anything with my naked eye, nothing like that. But I saw it through my video because I was, you know, looking at my phone. But other than that, and like I said, like strange noises, and there was a time where it was either a music box or like a kid's toy or whatever, just went off for like a second. It was random. Ew. Like, you know, I mean, like, we haven't touched that stuff in years, like, and it was in the crawl space, like, and we heard it go off, and we're like, what the heck? Like,
you weren't even around it?
No, cause like, okay, so my room is like the attic basically, but it's like this big open. It's literally the whole 3rd floor. That's literally my room. It's the whole 3rd floor because it's the attic. Okay. It's
kind of nice.
Yeah, it is pretty nice, but it's hot up there in the summer and freezing up there in the winter. Anyway, so you have like this room, and then you can go into the crawl space, which is like, it's still the same length, but it's like, you know, tighter, shorter. And so it happened in there, and like, I mean, we don't really go in there. We only go in there to get like Christmas ornaments and stuff like that. And yeah, we heard it go off for like a split second. And we're like, what the heck? Like, we don't mess with that stuff anymore. Like, we're adults, you know? Yeah, so, I mean, that happened, and, like I said, the mist or whatever, but other than that, like, nothing really extreme.
Yeah, you haven't done anything crazy. I mean...
but, yeah, and, I mean, the only thing that could really haunt our house was my great-grandma? She apparently died. Well, not like, I don't know if she actually died in our house or if it was like she, you know, got taken to the hospital and then died at the hospital. I don't remember. I wasn't even born yet. But but I think she actually might have died in our house, like on the couch. And
I hope it's not the same couch.
No, it's not. It's
okay.
Not. That's the thing. So I don't think it would be her, right? I don't know. I don't know if they can just stay in that spot. Like in the house, like I don't know how it works, or if they would be connected to the couch, I don't know. But
I have no clue.
So it could either be that, or my mom likes to collect like vintage like antiques and like vases that.
Those antiques will get you.
Yeah, and so I don't know where she gets these from. Like, you know, eBay. I don't know, Facebook Marketplace. I have no clue, right? So maybe something with that. I don't know, but other than that, I don't know.
That, yeah. I don't know, like, how that works. How do they pick where to haunt? I want to know that. Because, like, why, if you, like, died in the South and you got brought up to this dingy building, it wasn't dingy at the time, but, like, why would you stay in the place where your body sat for, like, a few days?
Yeah, like, that's one thing is, like, why are they even stuck? Like, do they just want to mess around with people at this point? Or is it, like, they don't know that they're dead, something, like, I mean, I feel like a Civil War person would know that they're dead by now.
I hope so. I would really hope so.
But, so, like, now, I feel like now they're just staying because they can get a kick out of it, like,
yeah, that's what I think, too, because, like, it really, when you're there, like, in between the season, because we have to go in and rebuild, but when you're there in between the season, it's really not as active, but if you're there, like, during the season, like, after hours, it's nuts. It's like they feed off the fear.
That's literally what I've been
terrifying.
Saying. No, that's literally what I've been saying, like, every episode. I'm like, because, like, back to the YouTubers, like, they always talk about, like, that. Like, we're just feeding into their fear. I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, we pretty much are, right? Because we're terrified of them. We don't want to get haunted. We don't want to get hurt, like, whatever. And so, like, obviously, we're afraid of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, like, again, like, I think they just like, you know, playing off of that and just, like, tricking us and messing with us.
That and the insane amount of electric stuff. Oh, there are wires everywhere.
Oh, man.
I cannot imagine that electricity bill. I'd be too scared to look.
Oh, my goodness. But yeah, I mean, so, like, obviously my experiences aren't, you know, up there with yours.
Yeah. Well, it's still kind of freaky.
It is, and I don't know what it is. I still don't know what it is, and this happened like 3-4 years ago, and I couldn't tell you what it is. But nothing's ever happened since. Like, that's my thing. It's like, well, how do you explain that when it's not like a continuous thing?
Wanted to have a little main character moment.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just weird.
That is really weird.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It's just one of them things.
I guess. But yeah, I mean, you got.
That's all I've got. That's all I've got.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
That is pretty crazy. Like I said, I've been there for, you know, the different haunted houses, stuff like that. But that's all I've been there for. Never done a ghost tour, never done anything like that.
Yeah.
It would be cool to do that.
It would be cool.
But yeah, it's pretty wild. So before I ask a little bit more about your experiences, gonna change gears here and gonna read you another story that was sent in to me, and this was sent in by Sarah. Her name's Sarah. Pretty wild. So that one spirit or whatever her name was Sarah. So that's kind of freaky.
Fits
there.
Perfectly.
And this is actually dealing with her alma mater, so her high school that she went to, which I actually went to the same high school.
Ooh. So you know a little bit?
Yeah, I do know a little bit. But I'll read it to you, and we'll discuss our thoughts right after a word from our sponsors. Does your yard make your house look haunted? If so, call us, Grafton Lawn Care. We'll get your place back amongst the living. Well, welcome back to the LoGhouls podcast, everyone. And if you are just now tuning in, Frankie just explained her experiences at Wells Township Haunted House. and even her own house and her parents' house, right?
Yeah.
I even discussed a little bit about my little experiences, or whatever you want to call them. But now we're gonna jump to another unexplainable. Another one. Yes. Like I mentioned earlier, this was sent in by Sarah, and it's about her high school that she went to, and I mentioned that I went to the same high school, and it's Steubenville Catholic Central. So hey, if you're listening and you're from there, how you doing? So anyway. Oh, also, if you want your experience to be heard, then head on over to the LoGhouls podcast website and submit your stories. You might be featured on here. All right. So, as I mentioned, this was sent in by Sarah, and she writes, "Your alma mater, never the place you expect to hear a ghost. After a very long night at one of our football games, Alex and I decided to try to beat the bus back to the school in hopes to get the building unlocked and ready for the students so that we could try to make a quick exit afterwards. We made it back to the school around midnight, and we assumed the band bus would be arriving within the next 30 minutes. Boy, were we wrong. 30 minutes goes by, and at no sign of the bus, turns out they stopped for food, we decided to take a nap in the hallway. Shortly into our nap, we hear a banging sound on metal in the boys' locker room. We looked at each other and decided it was probably just the football team getting back. Minutes later, we hear it again, and this time we went to investigate. The football team had not been back yet, the lights were still off in the locker room, and the banging stopped when we walked in. As soon as we went back to our spots in the hallway, the banging started again, and it continued all the way until the football team and the band finally got back to the school at around 2 a.m.
That long?
Yeah, I guess. So Sarah and Alex, they are color guard and royal instructors for the band. And so they must have just gotten back before, the band and football team, like she said, got back. And, yeah, I don't know, they just heard this banging noise, I guess. Okay, like I said, I went to school there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also in the band, and, like, we get back late and stuff like that. And, like, just, like, walking around there, and it's, like, the lights are off, stuff like that. And all you see really is, like, the exit sign, like, just... Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The red from the exit sign, it just makes it all creepy, right?
It does, yeah.
I just get, like, weird vibes at night. Like, during the school day, like, it's fine. Because there's, like, a million people in there. Not a million people in there. But there's a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
It's, like, normal day, whatever. But at night, for whatever reason, it just feels much different.
I think that happens with, like, every public space.
That's
like, if
true,
you're
yeah.
there when you're not supposed to be there,
it
feels weird.
Yeah, maybe that's just it. Yeah, it just feels weird. But every once in a while, we do hear, like, just random noises.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the building is old, so it could just be creaks, whatever. But the banging of whatever heck it was, right? I feel like that's a little more than a creak. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely, like, banging, if it's banging, I'm going to assume it's paranormal, because moving pipes don't sound like banging. So, unless they're creaking together, but the fact that it stopped when they went in.
That's true.
I hate that about ghosts. Like, if you're going to do it, say it with your chest. Like, don't stop when I get in there. I want to be wowed.
Yeah. No, really. Like, why they gotta stop? Like, again, I just think it goes back to, like, they just want to mess with you because, like, they obviously know that you're going to come and check or, going to try and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And they're like, luring you in, right? Like, it's just...
honestly.
A little spooky, right?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, but, I mean, we don't know if it's actually, like, haunted at all. But it's just, like, some of the noises that you hear, because... I mean, I've never seen anything. I don't think they've ever seen anything either. But, we do hear like weird noises every once in a while. Like to me, it's like not explainable in the sense of like, oh yeah, that was just a creak, or oh, that was just like a door opening. Which actually, hold on, wait. There was this one time, I don't remember. I think it was me and my sister. We were, I think, on the second floor, and we were at one end of the hallway, and we hear, I'm pretty sure it was a door. I think we heard like a door like either open or close. I think it was closed. We heard a door like closed at the other end of the hallway, right? Mm-hmm. But then I think we get to like the middle of the hallway and we hear it again, but then it sounds like it's like behind us. Like, it was weird. It was weird. It was like, I mean, it could just be like how sound moves, right? But also, like, I mean, there's nobody else in there, so like, it was just weird to even hear the door like shut.
Yeah.
So that was actually a little freaky too. And it's just, I don't know, we just get weird vibes at night for sure, which could be just explained as like, you know, it's not a normal thing to be there, like you said. So, but the noises, I don't know.
That's one of those ones where you have to like look into the land it was built on. Yeah. And see what happened before it was built.
Yeah. No, honestly, I wish they would give a history about the school, like, as like a class. Yeah. Or like in history lesson, but they never do. Like, I want to know, like, you know, when this was built or like what stuff like that, but never did that.
It's not like important. Or
anything. I guess not, right? Oh my goodness. But yeah, I don't know, that school is just it's definitely different at night, for sure. And I mean, I don't know if many students get to experience like what it's like at night, besides like, you know, sports teams, stuff like that. But I don't know, it's kind of crazy,
just a little bit.
Yeah. So like I said, we discussed a whole bunch of stories, right? But I'm gonna go back to your story.
Okay.
Gonna ask a few more questions.
Okay.
Get to the bottom of you know, what all happened here.
Gotcha.
So, I kind of want to know, like, why you wanted to share your stories today.
I just love talking about it. People are always wowed.
No,
It's my wow factor.
There you go. It's like, if you ever want to know a fun fact about you, then you got like 20 of them, you know?
Oh, my fun fact is I almost got possessed by a demon.
Oh my goodness. No, that's funny. Have you always believed in like paranormal stuff like that?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I used to see stuff.
Yeah, that's right. You did mention that.
So, you know, if I can see it, why am I gonna pretend it's not there? You know.
That's true. I feel like that's why a lot of people don't really believe in it if they haven't like seen anything, which I mean, makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with like religion. Like, if you don't see God, then like some people are like, yeah, he doesn't exist, right? That's not what I think, but
yeah,
to each their own, right? But yeah, so it makes sense. Like, a lot of people are like, yeah, I've never seen anything, not for me, right?
Yeah.
But you've seen stuff like basically your whole life, right?
Basically, yeah.
So yeah, I think I would definitely believe then too, right?
Seeing is believing, you know.
There you go.
Is that where that came from? Yeah, that is. I knew.
Oh my, I cannot stand that movie.
It's so weird.
It is, like, the way it's animated, it's like, oh, we're getting off topic now.
Oh man, not again.
But like, okay, so yeah, so you said you've seen stuff when you're a kid, right? Did your parents like ever see that stuff too, or did they always like brush you off, like, oh, you're just seeing things?
I honestly can't remember. I don't remember most of my childhood.
That's okay, because I don't remember anything about mine either.
I just know my mom was terrified of ghosts, terrified of me bringing things home, and it happened anyways, Mom.
Oh,
my bad.
I know you said that you're like starting to just get used to it, right? But I mean, the story with like, you know, that head popping up and like you getting like emotional and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure that like pretty much scared you, right?
Yeah.
It's like the stuff still like scares you in a way, right? Yeah.
The big stuff scares me. Like the little things, yeah. Actually, after that, I stopped going down there.
Really?
For like a few months. Because I was so scared.
I think I would
Yeah.
stop do that. No, that's crazy. I mean, do you think you'll ever like just be completely used to it, or do you think you'll always have like those experiences that will get you?
There's always that like fear factor.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like, even though you're expecting it, you don't know when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen, so it's going to get you. But like after that initial shockwave, you're like, oh, it's just not again. Whoopsies.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you mentioned it, but have you ever like, I think we were talking about like the security cameras and stuff like that, but have you ever like, oh, you said you caught something on Snapchat, right?
Yeah, the video of the laser pointer and stuff. Yeah.
That's right. Have you ever caught anything else, or is that on video? Is there that?
Not on video. I mean, other people have caught stuff. I've never personally caught anything.
Oh.
Because, you know, when you're there in the dark, you got your flashlight out. I'm not exactly thinking of taking pictures.
Yeah, I guess if you're like doing a tour too, like, you have to concentrate on the tour, right?
I know other people have caught stuff, but I never have.
Okay. Yeah. I always just find it interesting, again, like, some stuff, like, you see in person, but you might also be filming at the same time, but nothing happens on the camera.
Yeah.
And I think it's just weird. Like, why? It's like, why are you showing yourself to me, but you don't want to show yourself to other people? Like, it's like, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I know, right?
It's very, very weird.
Yeah.
Everything about ghosts is just weird. Like, why do they stop when we walk in? Why do they not show up on camera? Who knows?
I don't know. I guess we'll never really know, right? And the other thing, it's like, you try to ask them questions, and like, they give you vague answers. Like, they don't want you to know anything.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I don't exactly like trust the like spirit box stuff.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Sometimes it's like, all right, come on now.
Yeah, like especially ones on your phone, because you can be talking about something and your phone just listens to you, so it's gonna spit out stuff you just talked about to scare you. You know?
I never thought about that, because I don't think I've ever really watched or seen anybody use like a phone spirit box. I think I've only seen like an actual like device, which again, even then, it's like I don't get how that even works, if I'm gonna be honest. Like,
I don't know either.
I mean, I know how it works, but like, I mean, how does it like flip through like 20 different frequencies and channels, right? And then pinpoint like these different words to make like one sentence that would make sense, right?
Yeah, I think that one's a little bit more believable than the ones that just pop up a random word.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But that's still questionable.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Some of these devices, I'm like,
come on now.
Yeah, it's a little fishy there. I mean, is there anything you want to say to the skeptics that are listening at home?
There's not much I can say to change your mind. I mean,
that's a common answer.
Yeah, if you don't see it, you're not gonna believe it. I mean, unless you just like the idea of there being something else out there.
Yeah.
But there's really nothing I can say to change anything. It's about, you've got to see it to believe it.
Yeah. If you truly like don't know about it or something, and you're on the edge or whatever, I feel like those people definitely need to like see something before they can be like, yep, I'm a believer.
It's always the turning point.
Yeah,
it is for everybody.
It is.
You see something and you're like, oh, I was wrong, my bad. Sorry for not believing you all these years.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like, I haven't, like, other than that white mist, like, I've never truly seen anything, but I still believe, but like, I mean, I'm not everybody, right? But I think I'm a religious person, so I think that plays into it a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it just depends on the person. Like, if you want to believe, you can believe. If you don't want to believe, whatever. It's not gonna hurt you, right?
Yeah.
Might hurt
Hopefully.
you. Who knows, right?
Who knows?
Is there anything else you want to add? Nothing?
I think I'm good.
You good?
I think I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Of course.
I wanted somebody to come in here and talk about Wells Township Haunted House.
Really?
No, yeah, I did. Like, because I knew that. Like, on their website, or I think they have a little bit of history on it, but I didn't really know much about it. Other than, again, it's just haunted house people go to Halloween, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, because I really wanted to know like what goes on there, you know.
Now you know.
I do. And so you still work there currently? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm going tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you can tell them you're on a podcast. Little shout out there.
A little shout out.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you again, and thank you for tuning in at home. This has been the LoGhouls podcast, where we bring your hauntings to life. Come back for more scares if you dare.